I went to Darjeeling for the first time when I was 19. My favourite surf spot, I'd found a book on Buddhism in the Sandhills. I really wanted to get into that. And I wanted to study sitar. We went up this Gandhi Road in Darjeeling. We were looking for Tenzing Norgay's house and we saw all these flags, so we figured that must be Tenzing Norgay's house. So that's where we went. And that's where we met Kangyur Rinpoche. He was like no one else I'd ever met before. He had crystal clarity. His mind was crystal clear. He was just someone who was obviously a master. Kangyur Rinpoche for us became our teacher, the person who we followed from then on. And I'm not the kind of guy to follow people.
One day Daddy came back from India and he said, "I've just met the most wonderful person I've ever seen. And his name is Kangyur Rinpoche." And something changed.
I was looking for something else. I thought there was something, and I was attracted by, as if I had some kind of intuition that there was somewhere some teaching that I should find.
There's sort of various cliches about meeting your guru, you know, like it's like we always knew each other, or it's like meeting my father, or it just seemed like the Buddha. But actually all those applied. You know, it was just nothing. Rinpoche didn't seem ordinary at all.
And they took me into Kangyur Rinpoche's room. Kangyur Rinpoche's presence was so strong that I was sort of quaking. Literally, you know, sort of physically, sort of shivering the whole time. And everyone said, "Oh, poor thing, you know, you must be really cold." And I said, "No, I'm actually really hot." And I kind of took off my coat and I'm still quivering.
The aspiration was, could I become even a little bit like this person? Just simply being in his presence was the most fulfilling, the most inspiring, the most revealing. It seems like that's it. That's where you can give meaning to the whole life and to every moment of life as well.
In the 1950s, there were a lot of Tibetans leaving the country. At that time, Kangyur Rinpoche realised that the Buddha's teachings, until then which had been preserved by Tibetans, were in danger.
When we heard that there is Chinese is going to invade Tibet, I think 3 or 4 years ago, Rinpoche says we should leave. It's not safe. His Holiness, the written letter says he must go. He should go, but he should take some collections of the Kangyur, the text.
This was 2 Chinese lorry loads of packaged books. They had to carry them literally physically over the Himalayan mountains. His children were very young at that time. The journey took them over 3 years. Once in Darjeeling in 1960, Kangyur Rinpoche established Ogyon Kunsong Choling, which was a monastery at 54 Gandhi Road. His first Western students began arriving in the 1970s. There was only about a dozen of us at that time, and he took us in as if we were part of his family.
His door was always open. We would come in without even knocking at the door, you know, just go like this, and then we would sit on the floor, you know, next to him. He would look at us like that, carry on what he has to do.
When I first met Kangyur Rinpoche, he was 73 years old. He passed away when he was 77. So, like many Western students, like all the Western students, we only knew him for a very short amount of time. But that very short amount of time was life-changing for all of us.
there was this feeling of unity and this feeling of being really part of something special. The physical teacher went, disappeared, but still the feeling is still there.
When we speak of a guru in the press, usually it's not very good. It's someone who manipulates people. So in the case of a genuine, authentic spiritual master, he's someone who had nothing to lose and nothing to gain, but everything to give, everything to share.
He brought there was about 100 bundles. The main reason to bring it to India was to preserve the Buddhist teachings, not as a rare, sacred thing, but more as something that is indispensable to the happiness of so many sentient beings.
After Rinpoche died, at his request, some of the most senior Tibetan lamas took residence in France, making the Dharma accessible to the whole of the Western world. 30 years ago, I was a sitar player and a practicing Buddhist, and then life just went whoosh, and there were other things I was involved in. Then, now I'm back, and I really want to go back to Darjeeling and find Kangyur Rinpoche, where I left him. We're going to go back to Darjeeling for the first time in 30 years and tell Kangyur Rinpoche's story.